Alright, yo, what is going on YouTube? What's up, guys? Nature Boy here, and you guys know what time it is. It's Bleach time. Bleach episode 11. So, I believe this is the second to last episode because episode 12 and 13 are going to be put together for an hour-long special. I believe that's the case. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe that's the case. So, second to last one. This is going to be good, but again, like I always do, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a timestamp that you can skip to because I like to talk a little bit before I get into it. And today I got something I want to get off my chest. And this is mostly going to be for my footy fans. So if any of you guys are a fan of football, and by football I mean the real football, soccer in Canada or America, then stick around for this because I want to get this off my chest. And man, the first thing I want to say is, what a World Cup, guys. That was the best World Cup in our lifetimes. I think that goes without saying. Like, I'm not old or anything, but I've seen my fair share of World Cups. I remember I was a very, very little kid, but I faintly remember Ronaldo's 2002 fantastic World Cup performance. I remember watching some of it with my dad. 2006, I did not watch, but I remember the finals and only the finals like it was yesterday. Zidane, Italy, Materazzi, all that stuff. Very dramatic finals. And everything since then, I've pretty much anticipated months before it came, discussed with friends and family, all that, watched from the group stages as many games as possible, the quarterfinals, the round 16 quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. So 2010, 2014, 2018, and 2022, I can judge thoroughly, and I remember them all pretty good. And it had always been 2010 was the gold standard. South Africa, 2010. It was just an amazing World Cup, right? With like Diego Furlan, Netherlands, Robin, Spain. Such a good World Cup. Ghana. And then 2014, I want to say, was just almost as good as it. And for me, Messi is my favorite player, so I wanted him to win so bad in 2014 because I felt like he worked his ass off that entire tournament and came so close and lost to just a solid team. And he didn't have a solid team. He was a fantastic player, the best player in the world at the time easily, but he wasn't in a solid, fantastic team. 2018 was an average World Cup. It wasn't anything special in my opinion, but if you're a Croatian or French, it was probably very memorable for you. Shout out Burrow, you probably remember that because that was fantastic for Croatia. England as well. But it didn't have, the only reason I say it wasn't fantastic is because it didn't have the drama throughout the entire tournament, kind of like the other ones did. Like, it had that moment with Belgium and South Korea. Or was it Japan? No, I think it was Belgium and South Korea, where Belgium had that last-second counterattack goal. But these other tournaments have been dramatic all throughout. And this one, from beginning to end, was the most dramatic tournament I have ever seen. And the finals is the most dramatic, not just football game, but sporting game I have ever seen. The best sporting game I have ever seen in my entire life was yesterday's game with France and Argentina. What a game. But with it being the best tournament, with Messi being my favorite player of all time, I'm a little bit pissed off because that tournament was rigged, bro. That entire tournament was rigged. 100,000 trillion %. You cannot tell me that Qatar and FIFA did not I don't want to say hand, because he worked his ass off. But pretty much make a very, very easy journey for Messi to get to the World Cup. Like, if you're Messi, they made it easy enough that it's pretty much a guarantee that you're going to win the World Cup. Even if you don't have the best team in the world. And they had a solid team. They had a fantastic team. They were already favorites along with France and Brazil to win the whole thing before it even started. But my man had penalty after penalty after penalty. I think it was, like 5 penalties in the 7 games. The finals, that wasn't even a penalty, in my opinion. Di Maria was already falling before he even got clipped. Before there was contact, he already made the decision that he's going to fall. A lot of those weren't penalties. The game with Netherlands, homeboy blasted the ball right in their faces, right in front of the referee. Doesn't even get a yellow card, because I believe that would have been his second yellow card and a red card. And they don't want to give it. There was a lot of things, small things that led up to them being able to win these games and led up to this, that just made it even because that first goal was a penalty yesterday, it allowed France to or it allowed Argentina to relax and for France to force them to push up and to sacrifice defense to push an attack because the pressure's on them now. They're behind. And once that happens, it's very easy to counterattack a team that's already attacking because they're behind. So that's exactly what happened. And even though the second goal was a legit amazing goal, fantastic goal by Di Maria, fantastic pass from Messi to create the whole play, it came off of France being wrongfully behind in the first place in the game. And to see France still come back and Mbappe perform way better than Messi in my opinion, but everyone is like saying Messi was the best by far. I don't understand this. Like, why are we forcing this on Messi? Mbappe had a hat trick, legit penalties, and easily, in my opinion, the best goal in the World Cup. Easily. I know Richarlison had that nice backflip, but Mbappe's volley, the confidence to do that, as opposed to just taking another one or two touches to like guarantee it's gonna go in or to be at least have a better shot at it going in. He just volleys it in the last minutes of the game where it needs to go in, and he puts it perfectly. Comes off the keeper, but then it goes perfectly into the corner because he put perfect amount of power into it. Fantastic goal. And then from there, I think it was a solid game, man. But the whole tournament just felt like the nation of Qatar and FIFA organizers and the FIFA president just wanted Messi to win. And they worked together to help Messi have this World Cup. Why? Because that's fantastic for them. What's better than for them to have this perfect fairy tale ending for pretty much the protagonist of football, the main character of football in its history. If there's anyone that's a main character of football, it's Messi. And they also helped him be that. Because it's always been Messi and Ronaldo. I don't care who you have above the other. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. They're both... We're so lucky to have just one of them in this generation. And I promise you, if the other one was not around, then that one would have won 10 Ballon d'Ors back-to-back. Would have won everything. But they pushed each other. They were there to take it from each other 1 year, collect all the records. And we're lucky to have both of them. We're absolutely lucky to have both in this generation. It's almost like having Pele and Maradona in the same generation, but in my opinion, even better than those guys. Slightly, ever so slightly, but even better. But of course I'm biased, right? I wasn't around for those guys. But I don't care who you have above the other. You cannot deny that FIFA and the whole system has always pushed for Messi to be the face and hold Ronaldo back. So whereas Messi is fighting with the system supporting him, and Ronaldo has always been fighting against the system, trying to move forward against the system. Always. And I'm talking about FIFA. I'm talking about the media. The media has always tarnished Ronaldo. And they always put a magnifying glass on any problem this man has. Like right now with the drama with Man United. They'll talk about that, all this stuff. And then just the stuff he does in real life. Like all the donations he does, all the stuff he does for kids, all of this stuff, the amount of money he donates. They'll never talk about it. Never. He does far more of that than I believe Messi does, unless Messi does it without a single soul knowing. Ronaldo donates a lot of money. He does a lot of good stuff for humanity too. He's actually a good role model in my opinion. But they'll never show any of that because they want Messi to be that guy. And that never bothered me before because it never actually hindered them in such a dramatic way. But this was just they basically handed him a World Cup in my opinion. They handed him a World Cup. Because there's so many scenarios where it's like, without the favoritism, do they make it out the group? Without the favoritism, do they make it past the Netherlands? Without the favoritism, do they get that first penalty against Croatia that then sets the pace of the game? So if anyone is saying, oh, well, they scored more goals after that goal, that initial goals in games set the pace. So if the initial goal is always going to be a bullshit penalty, and I don't know if Croatia was a bullshit penalty or not. I already forgot it, to be honest. But if it is, that sets the pace for the game. Because in my opinion, the France one was a bullshit penalty, and it sets the pace. So it's like, do they make it past all these moments? Do they win the world? Do they even make it extra time? Is it 3-3 in the finals if it's not for the refs? I don't think so. So it's annoying and frustrating to see because I wanted Messi to get a World Cup, but I didn't want him to get it like this. I wanted him to really, really earn it. In my opinion, 2014, he earned it more than he did this time. That's my opinion. 2014, Messi earned a World Cup more than he did this time. And Ronaldo is also one of my favorite players of all time, and I'm a Madrid fan my entire life. Madrid, the club, is what got me into football to begin with. And it was mixed feelings. It was bittersweet, even before Messi won, because it's like, I don't necessarily want to see Messi get his heart broken again, and this time in his last ever World Cup. But for Messi and Ronaldo to have had their whole careers neck and neck, and then Ronaldo leaves like that the way he did, and then Messi wins the whole thing, and then both of them never compete in a World Cup again. I know for a lot of, I don't know what to say, ignorant ass people, or just like, or casuals even, just like casuals, they're gonna say, "Oh, that ends the debate. GOAT debate is ended," and a lot of people are gonna put Ronaldo in Messi's shadows now, and I'm afraid Ronaldo might get forgotten behind Messi, which is so dumb because Messi plays for Argentina. Before Messi was even born, Argentina was already one of the greatest countries in the world, collecting World Cups. Diego Maradona. They are one of those teams. It's like Brazil, Germany, Argentina. Those are the teams you expect to win the World Cup. And I'm not talking about recently. I'm talking about generations across. Generations, 40, 50, 60 years. You expect good players to always be in those teams and to always compete. Ronaldo is the only player to ever make Portugal truly compete for competitions. I don't know if you guys understand this. Like, just regular soccer fans. Before Ronaldo, Portugal even like coming close to winning a World Cup, let alone winning a Euro, is pretty much impossible. And Cristiano Ronaldo made that happen. He basically took an average nation that's not expected to do the things that Argentina can do and pushed them almost to that level, which to me is already more. And I'm trying to look at this as from an unbiased perspective because again, I love both of these players, but I feel like what Ronaldo did for Portugal is more impressive than what what Messi did for Argentina. That's just my opinion. So again, it's the best World Cup ever for me, but it is tarnished because it was just forced. They forced it on Messi, in my opinion. They forced. But I've already been talking for 12 minutes, guys. Let me know if you guys do watch football. Let me know what you guys think. And with that, we're just gonna get into Bleach because I talked way more than I should have been. But Bleach episode 11. Next week is going to be the last week. Oh, I hit play by accident. Okay, next week is gonna be the last week, so it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be special. I can't wait. But right now, let's see. Ichigo got sent back to his dad. I believe it was a Kurosaki clinic. So let's get into it. If you guys are ready, 3, 2, 1, boom. Bleach is here. That is way too loud. You also noticed it, right? That it was going to be useless no matter how hard he tried. I know the whereabouts of every Asachi I forged. And through continuous training, we transfer them into our personal Zanpakuto. This is the foundation and essence of the relationship between Soul Reaper and Zanpakuto. It is an absolute truth. It's not just squad members and captains, but Zanpakuto of us Squad 02. Oh, he knows Kenpachi. Every one of us, since the dawn of the Soul Society. Not a single Soul Reaper has awakened their own Zanpakuto without processing an Asachi I forged. Without possessing an Asachi I forged. That's why he needs to know the whereabouts of his soul. Let me put this shit here, guys. It's obviously going to have something to do with him being part Quincy, right? I can only imagine it's going to have something to do with that. Because I can't imagine what else would separate him from literally every single Soul Reaper ever that we know of so far, where he needs to go through an extra process. And how did he get his sword? Didn't Rukia just stab him? And then he just appeared in a Shinigami form already holding his own sword? And it wasn't Rukia's, it was his own. Rukia still had hers. I don't think it was the one that pierced him. He just transformed, and part of his transformation was his sword, his already in Zanpakuto form, on his back. If I recall right. So he never did have to deal with a Sauchi. Man. I'm gonna miss Bleach when it's done. Same way I already missed the World Cup. I don't think it's too long before they come back with season 2, right? It's like months, I think. 4 or 5 months or something like that. Here we go. Kurosaki Clinic. There he is. The GOAT. That punk ran away. Everything but the rain. What the hell's wrong with you? You show up for the first time in a while. Looking like it's the end of the world. Who's this? Who the hell is this? Is this one of his schoolmates? I don't remember who this girl is. I'm not even gonna lie. Miss Ikumi. Unless she's from the Fullbring arc, I should know who she is. Showing up for work in Parchment. Why'd she hit him? I'd rather you come to work than here. You can come to me at any time. Kids should rely on adults. I'm gonna assume she's from the Fullbring arc because I have not even the slightest recollection of who this girl is. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh shit. Yo! He found him quick. What did he say to him? Don't skip it. No, how are you gonna skip that? How did he skip that? I guess I'll deliver this to him tomorrow. You came to pick me up in that outfit. You know what's going on, don't you? Including the fact that Aizen Zanpakuto was broken and that Squad Zero came down. When is he gonna get in the fight, man? When is he gonna fight some Quincy's? You don't know anything about yourself. Tell him. He deserves to know now. He's grown up, bro. He's not like a kid. Yeah, I remember. He's never gonna ask him that you could wait until I was ready to tell you. I remember that. Oh shit. You are not a Soul Reaper, but you're not an ordinary human either. Yeah. Flashback! Ichigo's mom, ISSHIN. Let's go. Masaki Kurosaki. Masaki Kurosaki. So he's like Ace. He took after his mom's name, not his dad. No, but it's Isshin Kurosaki too. His full name is Isshin Kurosaki, right? Squad 10 Barracks. Where are you? Squad 10 Lieutenant Rangiku Matsumono. Why are they introducing? Is this? Oh, is this part of the flashback? Bullseye. I'll have to take the day off. Squad 10 captain at the time, ISSHIN. Wait. What was his name? Squad 10 third seat. He was behind his own lieutenant? I should be next in line for a captaincy based on rank. Are you kidding me? If someone like you became captain, the squad would be ruined. Wow. No wonder they have such a weird relationship. What the hell? So he surpassed his superior. By the way, there's a report that caught my attention. Casualty report. Have you seen the manju I hid in there? I have so many questions right now. Do they not know Ichigo's his son? Even worse, he tried to brush it aside. You're a naughty boy, aren't you? Do you remember the report from 2 months ago? Two soldiers dead due to an accident last month. He reminds me. Should be back in 2 days to cover for me, will you? Kai and Shiba. Very, very similar personality. And apparently they're related too now, right? Because what we saw a few episodes ago. We should wait here. At our current level. We would only get in his way. Third seat behind Rangiku. That's crazy, yo. I would have never thought. Is that Gin? Oh, shit. Tosen. Oh, this is Aizen. Yeah. Aizen. Location of Shinjiraku and the others. Wow, we smoked them out. It's 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's take our time. The GOAT. The GOAT is here. June 4th, 2022. The last guy and the guy before that died on a rainy day, didn't they? You're next. Shiba? I like to pee in peace. Yo, so this man changed his own last name to his wife's. So he is a Shiba. Everything makes sense now. Everything makes sense. Is this her mom? Bro, what is going on? Why is everyone family with family here? So she's Ishida's aunt, adopted aunt, I guess. If I'm following correctly right now. She would be Ishida's adopted aunt. Which makes Ichigo related to everybody in the series. That is Ishida's dad, right? I'm not mistaken. Just a younger version of Ishida's dad. Who's this maid? Why are you zooming in on her like that? Katagiri. It's because mother wants to protect the Ek Quincy blood in the Ishida family. It's about the actions, not the words. Do you think she would be happy? She would be happy marrying me? Oh, okay. Never mind. I take everything I just said back. Never mind, guys. Rewind. But his mother took her in. What's so kind about me? I only want to make Masaki happy because without happiness, it is impossible to look to the future. Fair enough. Do not tell me she's. You know, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to even say it out loud. I don't want to say it. Super Saiyan Ishida. So this is Captain Shiba's spiritual pressure. Yo! Well, what am I looking at? A black hollow. That's Ichigo's form in oh my god, how can I forget what it was called? Its whole body is black, and its whole appears to be covered up. We've never seen anything like this. Just this looks like Ichigo when he fought Ukiura. Why am I forgetting what that form was called? Yeah, no wonder she didn't marry this guy. She looks exactly like Ichigo. Like, exactly like Ichigo. This is Ichigo. It's not Ichigo, but that's what Ichigo became. So how did Ichigo get some of that in his DNA as well? The future and many other things before you act. I really admire that about you, but she's not like that. To me, taking better care of myself means doing what I can, when I can. If I follow customs and let someone die today, when I had the chance to prevent it, I know my future self will never forgive me. Sounds a lot like Ichigo. Looks exactly like Ichigo, sounds exactly like Ichigo. Like a Minos. Don't tell me this is like Yuhaba from like a long time ago or some shit. But he has white hair. This is giving me strong Minato versus Obito flashback vibes. Heavy. Who just cut him? Am I supposed to know who that is? Or was that Aizen? That was Aizen, I guess. That was Aizen. Because he had the glasses. Yeah, Aizen. How ironic. I have so many questions right now. This guy did fireball jutsu. I'm impressed. Zero right to the face. Oh, she saved him. This is not a part of our plan. I shall eliminate her. Let's see what happens. Aizen's just like behind everything that happened in this series. Yo! Ichigo's mom is a beast. I guess him biting into her is why Ichigo has that in his DNA. She's stronger than ISSHIN, apparently. What should I tell him? He wouldn't do anything. This is probably why he got kicked out. Like I said earlier, many videos ago. I'm assuming that's why he got kicked out. I've never seen a real one before. Really? I feel lucky getting to meet a Quincy in person. What's with this person? And this is a part of Ichigo that we see as well. It's like he's a perfect mix of the two. But he's far more like his mom. I want to say far more like his mom. Then I'm sure that Ryo, Aunt Izumi, everyone else would. Aunt Izumi. Aunt Izumi. Got it? Yes. Understood, young master. Meta-size phase. He passed it on to her. There are times when straying from the initial goal is the superior outcome. This is why Aizen's the GOAT. This is why Aizen is the GOAT. A hollow created from a dead soul reaper. Decided to choose a Quincy, the polar opposite of himself. Don't you want to see what happens next? Experiment. Mix everything. Breed everything. Now you already have Hollow, Quincy, and Soul Reaper all in one. Aizen is smart. So basically, Ichigo in one ward is an experiment. Ichigo is the result of massive experimentation from Aizen and Gin and Tosen. And this is why his potential is going to be the highest in series. Not because he's like a chosen one or anything like that, like all the other series that we know. Not because of friendship, not because he works the hardest, but because he himself was born in such unique circumstances. So I guess he was. I guess it comes back to he was the chosen one, or fate had a role to play with it. Is a better way to say it. He's fated to be the strongest. I'm gonna miss this ending when Bleach is done. So good. What an episode. That was great. That was great. That was Ishida? Aizen? That wasn't Ishida. That okay. Even with your sins, you are like the sun. I think I know what just happened. Not know, like I didn't get spoiled on anything, but I can kind of put together an idea of what that scene is. Hold on. Nothing else, right? Okay. So before I forget, I'm just gonna say off of no spoilers or any hints or anything like that, what I think that last little bit after credits was. So it looks like, I thought it was Ishida, but it looks like Ishida's dad. What's his name? Ryu, I think. It looks like Aizen approached Ryu. What I think this is probably Isshin's. I'm just gonna call him not Isshin. Oh my god. Oryu's dad. I'm just gonna call him Oryu's dad because I'm not 100% sure what his name is. So I think Oryu's dad, after seeing Masaki or Ichigo's mom with Isshin, got jealous. Obviously got jealous because he wanted to marry her. His whole family took her in and fed her and all this, clothed her, whatever, so that she can one day marry him and protect the Quincy's bloodline. And obviously she marries Isshin, has a whole family with Isshin, a whole ass family. Makes sense why two of them are orange haired and one is black haired. And I'm assuming now that he saw that, he's jealous and he knows that she's probably gonna go towards Isshin. So Aizen's gonna approach him, and he's gonna sabotage everything in one way. Not that he wants anyone to die or that he's expecting it to lead to her death, but he's probably gonna try and sabotage them getting together by exposing something to Aizen that's gonna help in leading to her death, and that's gonna make her die. And he's gonna feel all guilty and shit, and Isshin's probably gonna forgive him, and that's why Isshin and him have that weird relationship that we saw all the way back in, I want to say, Wakamundo. It would have been Wakamundo, right? Would have been Wakamundo, or around that time, or maybe early Arrancar Saga, where like they know each other, but they don't really want to see each other that often. Felt like. So I'm assuming it's gonna be something along those lines. That's just like you watch enough anime, you watch enough flashbacks. You watch enough stories in general, and you can kind of get an idea. So that's what I think. I could be completely off the mark, or I could be spot on. I don't know, but very, very, very interesting episode. One of my favorite episodes because I like balance and I like these kinds of. I love flashbacks, bro. I love flashbacks. And my favorite thing about Bleach before this, along with the Soul Society, was Urahara and Aizen's flashback. I loved it. So. The reason I like flashbacks, or like ASL, is like my favorite thing in One Piece is the ASL flashback. More so than Marineford even. But I don't really count it as an arc because it's kind of part of Marineford. But I love flashbacks when they come later on because they tie in so many things that you would have never thought can be tied in so smoothly. And they do it in a way where it's like, they'll start in the beginning of flashbacks. So you have so many questions, like how in the world is Toshiro directly under Rankiku, where she can, as a lieutenant, give him a command, and he does it. and then he ends up being her captain. How in the world does ISSHIN end up where he is now? You can kind of get an idea. Like I said, I'm assuming he gets kicked out because he dealt with a Quincy. Boom. Yamamoto doesn't fuck around. You dealt with a Quincy, go home. You're out. But a lot of things, and they're probably gonna tie in very, very smoothly. We saw this in the Urahara flashback. We always see this. The Madara and Hashirama flashbacks is my favorite thing in Naruto. Aside from like the peak moments in the pain arc, it's honestly that. Like when he told Hashirama, you know, you don't have to stab yourself. It's okay, we're good. Because these things tie in the story so well. So I'm really, really looking forward to this, and I'm hoping, and I'm assuming, and I think it's a safe assumption, this season is gonna end with the end of this flashback. Now, there's a lot of things. I want to go in reverse order because I don't want to forget the things that I just saw. So, okay, what's that thing called? Is it like Zanga Tangetsu? No. Zanga Tangetsu doesn't even make sense. That's not a word. Tanga Zangetsu? No, that's not even like... What was that? No. Vastolordes. Ichigo's vastolordes form is what they call that form. Yeah, I'm like 99% sure it's called vastolordes, and I don't understand fully like the difference between Menos, vastolordes, Arrancar, Espada. It gets a brick. I know they explained all of it thoroughly. I remember when Renji was sitting down in Ichigo's room and explained a lot of that stuff in all the way back in the Arrancar saga, but it's too complicated for me. All I know is Hollow, Menos, then there's 3 different types. I think Gilgan is somewhere in there, and then Arrancar is the highest form of a Hollow, and Espada are just regular Arrancar. They're just stronger than the other Arrancar. There's nothing else fundamentally different about them. I don't think so. They're still the same species. They're just the top 10 of the Arrancar. That's the basis of it. I think that's all I care to understand. But Homie bites into the Quincy. And now she has that in her DNA. It wasn't a part of his plan, but now it looks like Aizen's gonna wait to see what happens. And I can see where it goes from here, and I'm assuming that last spoiler that I said in my first original Bleach video, that I said wasn't even sure if it was true, it's starting to look like it's absolutely true now. Aizen's a genius, man. Aizen is a fucking genius. He is one of, if not the smartest, or not smartest, a better word would be patient and calculating, very, very calculating character. Very cerebral character in anime. And I can kind of see where this is going already, but there's still a lot of things that I don't see where it's going. But, okay, so ISSHIN is not even a Kurosaki. He's a Shiba, which is why they called him Uncle a few episodes ago. Which is why, like, someone mentioned him in my comments. I can't remember who it was. It was one of you that come to all of my videos that I appreciate, that I always talk to back and forth with, but I can't remember which one it was. But he told me that that's why Kaien's personality, or no, his appearance is so similar to Ichigo's. And it makes sense now. And I also think that's why his personality is so similar to ISSHIN's. Because right now, if you see anything, it's that ISSHIN is basically another Kaien Shiba. He's basically, just that one scene with him in Squad 10 Barracks alone shows us how similar he is to Kaien Shiba. So I think that was cool. Rangiku being passed over like that is disrespectful as hell. I can't imagine ordering someone around and then them ordering you around. But I guess they said all the way back in the beginning of Bleach that Toshiro was a prodigy, right? Even Shunsui, when Stark asked him, he said, "This guy's a prodigy. In 100 years he'll surpass me. Just give him time." So he's meant to have like some of the best potential in Bleach. And I'm pretty sure he's like the youngest captain. Maybe even the youngest of all captains and lieutenants combined. He's probably the youngest. So it's very interesting. It's weird too because you have lieutenants like Sasakibe who have been around for over 2,000 years, who's older than probably Unohana even. And then you have Toshiro, who's the captain, who's been around for like a cup of coffee, right? But anyway, so it explains why Ichigo had that vastolordes form. Oh, that's so good. That's so good, actually, because I remember just a few weeks ago when I was looking back at I was recalling everything that had been spoiled in Bleach, because I rewatched Bleach right before it started, and then I made that video to you guys, and I had to like think back and remember everything that I even heard could possibly be a spoiler, just so that I can let you guys know before I started this live reaction journey all the way to the end of Bleach, because I wanted to be as genuine as possible. And you guys saw, I legit forgot a bunch of spoilers. I had to come back later, record the video again, edit it, and put that in there. That's how far in the back of my mind some of these spoilers were, and I wouldn't have even remembered them until I was watching it. And one of them was Ichigo's Quincy genetics, right? And stuff with that, and the stuff with like how that could have possibly came to be. I didn't know much about how that could have possibly came to be, but I had an idea. I told you guys if you watched it. And where was I going with this? Fuck, I don't even remember now. Yeah. So after going back through the spoilers, just coming off rewatching Bleach, I was thinking a few weeks ago, and I was like, well, that explains a lot about Ichigo. That explains like his Soul Reaper forms, his Quincy forms, and then I was like, wait a second. What about? I remember I was like, what about like all this hollow shit throughout the entire series? That's right in our faces. It doesn't explain any of that. The Vizards are the only people similar to him, and they went through a hollification process. We saw in the flashback why they are like that, and that was some. That's not something the everyday person goes through, and Ichigo didn't go through anything like that. He didn't go through anything at all. He was just born, and then all of a sudden we see against. I think the first time we see it, correct me if I'm wrong, is deep in his fight with Byakuya. I actually could be wrong here. It might have actually been in the fight with Kenpachi when he first talks to Sangetsu. There's a hollow form that he has to fight himself of, right? But regardless, they never explained it. He was just the only person that had this. And then it was like, back then it was a balance between Soul Reaper and Hollow. And then we kind of forgot about Hollow. At least I did. I just completely forgot about it. And then found out about the Quincy's recently, and it's a balance between Soul Reaper and Quincy. But no, it's a triangle. It's a Soul Reaper, Quincy, and Hollow, and he's got all three. This explains it now. This perfectly explains it. A Soul Reaper fighting Hollow. Quincy comes in to save the Soul Reaper. Hollow bites the Quincy. Soul Reaper kills the Hollow, or Quincy kills the Hollow. Soul Reaper and Quincy get together, with the Quincy having the Hollow's genetics from the bite. And you get a mix of all three. Perfectly makes sense now. Why he looks like Kain Shiba makes sense. I don't know if Ganju and his sister know that Ichigo is their, what would he be? He would be their first cousin. Yeah, he would be their first. Well, it depends how Isshin's related to them too. But they said uncle, so I'm assuming Isshin's brother is probably their father, or his sister's their mother, or something like that. It's got to be. Actually, I think it literally has to be one of those two, unless I'm crazy. But anyways, Ichigo would most likely be their first cousin. I don't know who Isshin's mom is, but not Isshin. I don't know who Ori's mom is, but I pray to God it's not who I'm thinking, or who is possibly in some of your minds as well, because that would just be weird as fuck for the whole series. But it'd be interesting to see that too, like who's Ori's mom now, because it's got to be someone new. It has to be. For the love of God, please. And where was I going with this again? Yeah. I wanted to say this in the middle of the episode. Do Toshiro and Rangiku know that the man that they've been seeing the whole time in the Soul Society are coming in and go, this substitute Soul Reaper, is the son of their former captain? Because that blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind. That's like, I don't know what that would be similar to, actually. I don't even know. Kind of like Shanks being under Roger the whole time before we knew it. But Luffy isn't even... If Luffy was Ace, and then Shanks and Ace had this relationship, and then you find out way later Shanks was under Roger. And it's like, did Shanks know about this? About the relationship between Roger and Ace? That's how I feel about this right now. Like, bro, that's your captain's son the whole time. And they didn't have, like, any kind of, like, unique relationship with him. He didn't, like... He had the main three, Rukia, Ranji, Byakuya, are like, if he ever has that flashback of like the friendship to get him boosted to those three. You have the Kenpachi, you have the Ikaku, the fifth seat of Squad 11, I can't remember his name. You have like the family around Ichigo, right? And then I guess Rangiku is, because they were part of the group that came over in the Arrancar saga. But I don't know, it's just crazy to me that like, you would think they would have said something. Unless Ichigo was like, don't ever say anything. Which I'm assuming he did actually, because he changed his whole last name. And it does make sense why he changed his name, because how is he going to go around explaining to his kid? Well, the first thing would be he cannot let anyone know that Ichigo is his son. I'm assuming he didn't want anyone to know this, even like Soul Reapers probably, which is the main fundamental reason his name is Ichigo Kurosaki, is what I'm assuming, and his children's name is Kurosaki, because him being going into like hiding or retiring or whatever, why let anybody know, hey, this is the son of a former Squad 10 captain? So with that being said, how is he gonna explain to his kids, hey, your last name is Kurosaki, my last name is Shiba? It doesn't make any sense. So he technically had to change his name to Kurosaki to blend in, and so that everything could just run smoothly. That's pretty fucking cool. He's a Shiba. I would have never in a million years guessed ISSHIN is a Shiba. So we're already finding out a lot about Ichigo's roots. This is sick, man. This is sick. And that fight reminded me a lot of Minato versus Obito. I think for obvious reasons, right? Like, first of all, you see the father of the main character in the flashback, and it's showing the flashback of how the main character came to be. That's the whole point of the flashback. They're the leader at the time when they are no longer the leader. We see they were a cool, chill, relatable guy, and then all hell breaks loose, and then this form with a hidden identity appears, and it's super strong and mysterious, and they don't understand its powers, they don't understand how it came to be, anything, and they go through fighting it and all that, and I guess with ISSHIN, things went his way. With Minato, we know how that ended. If you watch Naruto, it didn't end too well for him, but the similarities are there anyways. So that I just got strong vibes of that flashback watching this. But I think this was a fantastic episode. 10 out of 10. I liked this episode more than every episode since the invasion ended. Since the Quincy invasion ended. Easily. I like this more than like the stuff with Kenpachi and Unohana. I don't even want to get back into that. But yeah, this was a fantastic episode for me. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought of this episode. Did you guys enjoy it or not? And I can't wait for next week, because it's going to be an hour-long special, and that's going to be good. That's going to be very, very good. And I can only imagine it's going to be an hour of this flashback. And I freaking love flashbacks, guys. I love flashbacks. By the end of next week, we'll probably have all the answers we need to Ichigo's roots and how he came to be. And then I'm assuming the beginning of next season will be Ichigo solving the stuff with his Zanpakuto, because that's the next step for him. Otherwise, he can't go anywhere. So thank you guys so much for watching my live reaction. Appreciate it. Stick around. I'll have a video. I'm aiming for Saturday to have a video out for you guys. It's a pretty good analysis video, but it's a long one, and it's a whole ass project for me, so it's going to take some time. So that's why I most likely won't have a video out in the middle of this week. A one-piece video out like I usually do in the middle of the week, because I want this one to be quality, and I don't want to rush it. So forgive me, guys, but you'll see. When this video comes out, trust me, you will understand. Just like my theory video, I told you guys, just give me time. It'll be great. Trust me on this one, you guys will enjoy. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Nature Boy out.